You're listening to the Stupidity In Your Ear podcast. Here comes the stupid.
Welcome back, U-Tippers. It's your favorites, Calvi Boy, Sammy Boy, and Lori Girl, back at you with another podcast. Everybody, give a round of applause for Lauren, the designer of our wonderful t-shirts and stickers. I don't know if she did those as well, but yeah.
Thank you.
And again, happy birthday. Sorry I was over a month late, but I thought the best avenue would be on the podcast to tell you happy birthday.
Yeah,
You know, it's
flexing on people that you're a good friend when you're not, because my birthday was actually like a month and 2 weeks ago. That would be a month and a half.
That's neither here nor there, but
actually it was there because it was back there in the past.
Well, what
month
can
and a
you
half
do,
ago.
you know? She's not my girlfriend.
That's true.
I was trying to respect you.
Yeah,
I didn't want to make it like
really
hard on
appreciate
you
that.
guys. Yeah.
Sorry. So
you're
yes,
welcome.
my name is Lauren. I'm Sam's current girlfriend. Just thanks for having me on.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
Why did you say current there?
Oh, well, you know, I don't know. I vaguely remember someone saying that I was Sam's current girlfriend. It was when I got a 3-second shout out in the show. Thanks for that. So yeah, I've been a fan ever since then. Fell for Sam when he said that love was based on only your physical appearance. So that's why I'm here today.
You're a lucky woman. You're a
Hey.
lucky woman.
No,
Hmm.
Thank you. I'm very happy.
Wow, that makes me sound so mean. I mean, it's true. I'll grant you that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that didn't actually happen. That's prank.
Well, good news is no one will actually believe that because no one listens to our episodes. So I think we're pretty much
That's true.
good.
it's true.
So Lauren, why don't you give us your favorite episode of the podcast and a brief 5-minute discussion on why.
And we're gonna need that in MLA format, please.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. It's my favorite episode is definitely the one with Hillard because there was this group of friends that I knew from home, and I always thought there was only one funny one from it, and so getting to hear come on the show was really, really great because I was finally they got the funny guy. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Sounds great.
Because we
Great
always
referencing.
Hillard, obviously, because he's funny. I'm
Oh,
confused.
okay. Yeah. I remember because okay. That really hurts my feelings, but I'll just move on.
yeah. So, Calvin, do you have any questions for
Sorry, my current boyfriend left the frame.
Lauren or I?
Welcome back.
First,
Because I know you texted me you had like a really extensive list that you spent a lot of time on coming up with questions. So
yes, I've
Dive in.
been.
Can't wait to hear him.
What I did was I went with my girlfriend on a trip, and we just spent 5 days together. And
Is this the
just-
girlfriend that
it's
you
great.
don't have, or which
No,
one
it's-
is this?
it's the girlfriend. Remember he told us that he like goes to her house a lot and like tries to like knock on her window, but like she like yells at him to leave.
Huh.
And like then like just a couple weeks ago they had like the really cute moment where she like slammed him with a restraining order.
That was cute.
Yeah, that was really cute when you guys put that on Instagram. Oh.
Yeah. Well, actually, the Kansas Police Department did.
Sorry,
but-
when I saw it on the
Yeah.
Wichita Eagle.
Yeah. But anyway, it was cute. You guys look good together. Well,
That story's taken out of context, but
well, you look good in handcuffs, so it worked.
Yeah. But you got on bail. You're good. You're good.
That's where all the podcast money goes. It just goes to get
All of our
Calvin out of
t-shirt, all
jail.
of our merch money goes straight to keeping Calvin.
Please buy
keeping
the
Calvin on the
merch
streets.
because it's the only way we keep Calvin off the street.
Yo, what's up? Please hit up that merch game because I'm pretty much stuck in jail till you guys bail
Because
me
I'm
out.
really trying to get with my girlfriend. Buying merch.
I told her
helps
I'd wait.
Calvin.
She said she was going to wait for me. Well, she actually said, "I'm so glad you're in jail. I'm never going to see you again." But that's what
cute.
it means.
That's cute dating lingo. That's on Urban Dictionary as means that she wants you.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
When he says that you need a restraining order.
So cute.
Dude, I bet that's actually like been a caption on somebody's.
If not, I'm
something.
gonna make it one because it needs to be one. The whole point about relationships is the pursuit, and so, pursuing someone to the point where they say, "I need to have the law interfere and stop you from talking to me." That's where I want to be because I'm like so into her.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you should only see legality as just another hurdle to overcome.
Oh yeah, the world's against me. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not going to say that's true, but I definitely say that now that the pursuit is over, there's no point in being in a relationship.
Oh yeah, the magic's gone.
Yeah, unless you like follow someone to Scotland, and then it's just like more awkward to break up because your parents book a flight home at the same time, and but other than that,
that got
we're very
so
happy.
real.
wow. This will be a fun 45 minutes. I'm excited. Oh gosh.
You're seriously though, how you doing? All right, buddy? Sound a little like a sicky boy.
Yo, I am a little bit of a sicky boy. They call me throat sick because my throat hurts.
Oh gosh. They call you what?
Throat sick because my throat's sick. So that's pretty much where that came from. Anyway, yes, I am feeling a little bit under the weather, but the podcast game does not take days off. And so as an artist and a creator and an influencer, I felt like I needed to just put our material out there for everyone to hear. Because I'm sure people want to listen to this. They want to listen to me talk about not having a girlfriend for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Well, and our fans really proved it to us when we sold, 20 shirts max?
Mm-hmm. I don't think it was that many.
Can I not lie to you? It makes me not want to buy a shirt 10 times more when you guys desperately talk to no one bought your shirt.
I blame Sam.
Yeah, that's fair. You should.
Ooh, this is so real.
For some reason.
This is also so real.
Anyway, let's move on. Least favorite quality, go.
Nacho chips.
Huh.
Okay, let's just move on from all of that as well. Tell me, as a couple, your most embarrassing story together.
That is an actual. We have to pick from way too many of them.
Yeah, we kind of have ones that like are okay to share and ones that were like so yeah.
Calvin, you know what? I think that's funny. I think you should tell.
Yeah, Calvin, let's talk about your most embarrassing
No.
story.
He has to tell an embarrassing story about us.
No, he
Yes.
probably actually built them.
I know a few that I don't think. I am kind of sleepy though.
That
one is the one I would have told.
Yeah, you would have told that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Calvin, you tell that, and I want to hear you tell that story.
You want to hear me tell it?
Yes.
Okay, everyone, if you're listening, go ahead and cook some popcorn. Cook it. Don't put it in the microwave.
Put an entire stick of butter on that bowl.
Grab your nearest pajama pants and still wear whatever you're wearing, but also have the pajama pants with you and buckle up for this story. So say,
put the belt on
imagine,
pajama pants.
Yeah. Imagine it's a cool autumn night, I'm guessing. Is it autumn in this story? Autumn.
It's actually the autumn equinox, I think. So.
Okay, wow. So Greek mythology is playing into this part a little bit, I think. But
I will introduce himself.
So say it's autumn. Sam and Lauren are hanging out. It's later in the evening. It's later in the evening. I would say 9, 10.
This is funny because you're putting in details that are not necessary and that you don't actually know.
I'm making them up.
That's why I want to hear him tell
No
it.
one needs them, but they're
Making
not
them up.
accurate.
So, by this point, Sam and Lauren had been dating for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then, so
It's
after
actually,
this,
just for those of you who are very, very conservative, it was our wedding night. Just for people who believe
Yes.
in, waiting.
Right.
Waiting. Yeah.
Right.
Continue the story, please, quickly, so that
That
doesn't
does
sound bad.
insinuate things.
Yeah, please,
Ooh.
tell it faster.
Let's just rest in this moment of uncomfortable tension.
This is
Anyway.
so much worse for her
I
than
feel
for either of us, too.
uncomfortable. I
She
shouldn't
gets
have
so
prefaced it like that.
Anyway, so
Just watch that.
you guys are sitting on a couch. You weren't talking, you were just staring at the wall because that's what couples do. And so Lauren was sitting there and she was thinking, I should probably go home because I think Sam has fallen asleep. And Sam was thinking, I'm going to place a kiss upon her lips at this exact moment. And so whilst Lauren was thinking, oh, Sam's asleep, I should probably head out and go, Sam goes and just puckers her right on the lips and scares her. And that's how I imagine that story went. And so if that's not true, I'm going to lose it.
Is that actually how you... Wow, you really did not pay attention during Sam telling you that story. That's embarrassing for you. That's embarrassing that we put you on the spot to tell this story, and then you actually was like, crap, when Sam was telling that, I wasn't paying attention.
I don't
So.
have anything about that. I just have trouble paying attention. So
It seems like this is generally like a problem that you should address, but
Who has to validate or
you go for
invalidate
it.
his story?
Fix the story here, because I'm the innocent one.
You're the mouth breather.
That's
That's an important part of this story, actually. So Samuel and I, despite the fact that I'm just his current girlfriend, had never had that majestic mouth puckering landing moment. And it had been building up. And there was what is that?
Consciously been building up. Were you guys talking about it or?
Oh yeah, a ton. You like
What's it gonna happen?
It? Yeah.
What do you
So
think?
yeah, I totally didn't say one time, is it gonna happen, because I'm so afraid all the time that it is. I didn't say those exact words.
Spontaneity is overrated, honestly. I mean, why would you be spontaneous with someone you care about? That's not fun.
I agree.
You gotta plan everything out meticulously.
So we had planned that this was no, I'm kidding. So it's this beautiful, beautiful night, and we had gone out to like watch this. It was like a blood moon night. We remember when we had that weird month in Kansas where every
Kansas sunsets, dude. Oh my gosh.
Not lying, they actually are like so unreal.
You know what's better? The Grand Canyon.
Just the Grand Canyon.
That was so not what I thought you were gonna say. There were so many things that are.
I never gonna thought, okay, Danny DeVito, but yeah, let's move on.
And he is. Don't you forget it.
And he is.
To be really honest with you guys, I have no idea who Danny DeVito is.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Have you even seen him play the Penguin classic Batman?
That's not Danny DeVito.
No.
I don't movies. I'm sorry. I really am sorry.
He does play that Penguin. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so back to the story, because I speak for all the viewers who hate how often you guys get off track. Back to the story
Which is
were
just
talking
you.
about. I'm the only listener.
Yeah.
And I'm getting
you and Brad.
Brad. Oh, Brad. I would kiss Brad on a blood moon night.
Okay, so blood moon, perfect night, really beautiful. And we're sitting there. I mean, Sam is in slippers, so that does take away from the magic of the moment a little bit. Slippers and a Seinfeld shirt.
Which I wore in a previous episode, so y'all know.
Anyway, that's really loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Tyler, you need to stop, Tyler. Tyler, you're not welcome here. Becca, stop. I'm really good at being college.
Oh, okay. That was what was
just
happening.
keep telling the story
Okay.
like nothing happened.
Should I just keep doing that this whole time? Every time Calvin interrupts me really rudely while I'm talking?
It's my podcast, but whatever. Yeah, go on.
So it's this beautiful night, and we're sitting there, and it gets really, really quiet and we've been at this trip, like this school trip, so we haven't gotten like a ton of sleep. And all of a sudden, mouth breather that he is, Sam starts really heavily breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that's nice. He fell asleep. Because that's what happens when you start breathing really like deeply. And that's actually almost more embarrassing because that's not what happened. You were just like nervous or something. I don't know. Why were you breathing so heavily? I still don't quite understand that. But anyway, he's like sitting there and he's breathing so heavily. And then he does this move where he like turns to grab my face, but I think that he's just jumping and startling awake. Like, oh, there's a person there. And so I start laughing. I'm like, ha ha ha. Well, what was actually happening for him was that he was reaching in to grab my face. So what had happened for him was that he had started to kiss me and I had laughed in his face.
And slapped my hand out of the way.
Oh my God.
So talk about a confidence. That's just like taking confidence and making it get down on its knees and shooting it execution style in the head.
Wow.
That's what happened in that moment.
Yeah. So
it was extreme, but
it was it was great. Very much what you want your first kiss to be. It's just
then you never kissed her even after all.
So yeah, so that's what I meant. Now we are we took that as a sign from God that we should just court and wait it out. So ooh.
So the only time we've ever broken courting protocol is actually this podcast where we're sitting and our shoulders are touching.
That's the only reason we're doing it.
Yeah, as soon as that's over, we're gonna be
just side hugs for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Side hug. Oh wow, well that sounds fun. I wish I was there to see that.
I wish you were too.
Dude, I wish I was there, man.
That would have been fun, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, my first kiss happened with just me and the guy I was dating and his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay,
they fist bumped after.
And right after it was as it was happening, I just felt his hand just
boom.
Calvin reached out of the front seat. Boom.
Hey, props to the homie.
Right, bro. I see you, doink. Wow, that sounds fun though.
Yeah.
So. It was fun.
Yeah.
Other questions? What's happening now?
So, Calvin, you've thought about kissing a girl before, right?
No.
Okay.
Next question. Helpful, right?
Have you ever kissed a guy?
I don't remember.
Oh, expose him.
Let me preface. I lost a bet. And I did not set the boundaries for the bet. Let me just explain this whole story. I was just transferred here to a new school. I was a young sophomore. And a senior was like, Calvin, if you don't make this shot, we have to kiss. And I was like, it's pretty weird, you know. You gotta kiss your homies sometimes, but like, we weren't like that close.
You gotta kiss homies sometimes, though, obviously.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's your homies, but so then I was like, well, I usually make these shots. I'm good, and I think my overconfidence was eventually.
I'm really good at soccer, so.
Well, I mean, yes. So then, anyway. I missed, and so then we kissed, and it was a different experience. It was my first kiss.
Gosh.
I would rate
so much
it.
about that story. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a lower rating than other things I've done in my life, like skydiving. But
Well, yeah. It
But,
did last pretty long. Like what? Like
No.
0.001 of a second.
yeah, it was like the briefest of endeavors. But I think I learned a lot about myself through that. So anyway, yeah, that's why I think I'm so self-loathing. Was that what the question was?
I think I did ask, why are you so hate yourself and are so depressed?
Why are you so hate yourself?
Why are you so hate of
He
yourself?
He reads a lot of books.
My friend.
Calvin is holding up a sign that says "Thank you."
And he's also got this weird smirk on his face that I want no part of.
It's just my smile, but in both sides pressing off. So anyway, you guys, tell me. You said you've had some funny stories happen. Just let me in on that funny story.
Would you like to tell it? I think you should tell it. You're funny when you tell it. All right. We recently we had independent reading week here, which is essentially our fall break, and so we had a week off. Yeah. So we decided to go up to the north of Scotland, called the Highlands, and to about an hour away from the city called Inverness, where we stayed in a B&B. You want to take over because you're funny when you tell the story.
Is it just like about the strangeness of the B&B?
Strangeness
so we get to this place. No, let me preface. It's so loud outside. I'm so sorry.
You should go yell at them again, Sam.
Nah.
Nope, not worth it. So we buy the Airbnb because it's cheap.
Very cheap.
And after purchasing said Airbnb, I realized that it says that it has many amenities, but it does not have a kitchen, and it is an hour away from civilization. And that's when I was like, I'm not really sure how this works now, because I can't really get my money back. And I kind of said, Sam, this is a great place. And now we're screwed. But it did say it had an electric kettle for tea, because that's something that's just kind of expected in rooms here. And
it's Europe, so.
Yeah, we live in the UK.
When in Rome.
So anyway, so it had this electric kettle. So I was like, great, sick. That's basically a kitchen in itself. We'll just bring my camping stove and cook outside for lunch and cook everything else on the electric kettle.
Sweet.
To which Sam said, great, can you pour cans of soup in an electric kettle? I was like, no, that's not socially acceptable. You can't return someone's kettle to them with a couple noodles in it. That's not okay.
No, so you got to get to the good part. So we buy.
Yeah, so we get just dehydrated food and oatmeal, and we don't bring the stove at all. We just make sandwiches and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Sandwiches being the important part, because sandwiches require that you buy a fair amount of cold food.
Mm-hmm.
So like chicken and cheese and lettuce.
And mayo and mustard. And
there were
many of those
windows in the room, but they were like, you could see through them and they could clearly see into the room. So like we didn't want to put chicken on that windowsill, but there was a frosted window in the bathroom. So we put all of the stuff there so that they couldn't tell we had lettuce and all this stuff. And they were like kind of confused because we didn't like leave often other than to hike, and they were kind of unsure as to like where we were getting fed, and they made that clear, like, are you guys okay, like because you tell anyway. So we have like all of our lettuce and stuff laid out on the window, and we come home from a hike and we're like, oh, this is so funny, like what if someone were to see this? And Sam goes into the bathroom and he opens the door and he's like, Lauren, there is cleaning solution in the toilet. Which means that our host was in the room and saw all of our cold stuff, the yogurt, the lettuce, the cheese, the chicken, like just on the windowsill, like all laid out.
In the bathroom.
In their bathroom. And it's like, that's
Yeah.
not chill. Like, that's not okay. And that night, we hear them bang on the door, and we're like, oh, what do we do? They haven't talked to us this whole time. And he's like, can we please bring you some more coffee or tea? And he's kind of insistent.
Yeah, very.
And we're like, yeah, I guess. Like, we'll take some more, I don't know, milk and hot chocolate, I guess. And so they take the tray and bring it back, and there's, like, a cut-up cantaloupe on it, and, like little packets of, like, ramen that you can make with water. Like, it was so nice because they were very concerned, but they didn't say anything.
Yeah,
They weren't
that was
ever
the
like,
funny part, that neither of us acknowledged that we
they
were
never
eating
said.
just every meal in the bedroom because that's all the room was.
That was all we had. Like, it was so sad. It was
funny.
Essentially camping, but warmer.
And so then we spent the last night of the trip in Inverness because we couldn't stay in the other B&B for that final night. And so Lauren finds this place on booking.com.
Stop.
Pictures...
Yeah, booking.com, which is like that's where you book hotels and Airbnbs and things like that. Like, those are trusted things.
Yeah, and so we were going for the cheap option. And so this one was really cheap, but it looked really nice. The pictures are great.
It was called the City Rooms in Inverness. So I was like, great, it's in the city. It's a room. Solid.
Anyway, we show up, and it is not in the city. It is
it's a 40-minute walk from the city.
40-minute walk from the city.
Dang.
So we get out to it, and we try to drop our bags off, and there's this short Russian guy standing outside smoking a cigarette. Very thick Russian accent. And he's like, oh, you I don't even know how to do it. He's like, you stay? We're like, yeah. And he's like, you want leave luggage? Yes. And we're like, uh-huh. And he's like, okay, let me call boss. And so he calls his boss up, right? And he's like, oh, hey, Sev, or something like that. And then he's like, talking in Russian to this guy. And he's like, okay, yes. And he's like, here, you talk. And he hands me the phone. So I'm talking to his boss named Seb. And
this guy's cell phone.
On this guy's cell phone. And this guy I'm talking to is equally Russian. Like, speaks only Russian. Barely any English. And he's like, yes, what is your name? What is name? I'm like, Sam. But we booked under Lauren. And he's like, nothing, Sam. No. I was like, no, we booked under Lauren. And he's like, oh, yes, Lauren, yes. And so anyway, we get into this room.
No, hold on. They unlock the 10 locks that are on the door to let us into the house. Like, janky little locks and some sort of electric code that is on its last battery. It blinks incessantly. I'm like, we're going to get locked out of here for good. We're never getting back in.
And
get into the room.
Get in the room. Not good. There's a hole in the wall. There's no flooring in the closet. There's I looked under the bed because I dropped something. Just like an inch of dust. Oh, dude, not good. And then, at about 2 a.m, these 4 or 5 middle-aged dudes, drunk off their horses, just come barreling in at 2 a.m. and just proceed to scream and yell and play music.
Play AC/DC as loud as could be. And so I'm like, we have to go out there and say something. And Sam's like, no, I'm scared. And I said, man up. No, I'm kidding.
She did. That's exactly how it was.
And we went upstairs to tell them to be quiet because the walls were paper thin. And we get up there and they're like, oh my gosh, we are so sorry. They're just these really nice guys. Yeah. Scottish, middle-aged Scottish men tend to be very, very nice.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we're so sorry. Do you want to drink with us? We're so sorry. We're like, no, we just want to go to bed. So we go to bed, wake up. It's 8 a.m. They're so loud again. I'm like, maybe they were too drunk to remember that we are here. And at around 9, someone bangs on the door. We're like, crap, what is happening?
Yeah.
And this guy goes, hey, do you guys want sausage or eggs? We're making breakfast. We're like, what is actually happening? So we left there very quick. Yeah.
It was hard to be mad at them. You really wanted to be mad at someone that's keeping you awake at the morning.
But they want to make you breakfast.
Really nice. I don't know.
Yeah, they're super nice.
Anyway, so we stayed in a place that was run by the Russian mafia. So
we're fairly convinced.
Yeah.
That sounds realistic.
Yeah.
So that's us.
Mm-hmm.
In a little. That's a nutshell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what that's called.
Cool. So the Russian mafia got you guys together. That's kind of how.
That's how it started.
It is kind of cool, actually. You know, like I had to go do this one.
Ow.
What did you just do?
My leg just started
Yeah, hit right
cramping.
in the field.
You've been
Yeah, I
out a
lined
lot
up my
today?
leg. I just really.
It's
Oh,
okay, man. You have the you have that one girl that you are kind of stalking in a cool way. You
Ariel
have her,
from
man.
Disney.
Hmm.
Yeah. The part of her being a mermaid's pretty tough, but I think I'll get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, you just need to get one of those.
No, here's what you can do though. You can just make it so that you can ask her, trade your voice so I can't hear anything about your personality or anything about you, but I'll be able to look at you and tell if I want to marry you for the rest of my life. And in that, you'll know it's true love.
Right.
You know,
I think that's maybe one of the most deranged morals of a movie I've ever seen. You can trade your voice, so you won't be able to talk to him, but you'll be able to kiss him, and then he'll win. You'll win. Like, what is that? Actually, no one talks about that enough. That's
True.
pretty bad.
No, I'll tell you why they don't talk it because why they don't talk it. I'll tell you why they don't talk it. It's because Under the Sea is in that movie, and that song by itself nullifies any negatives in that entire movie.
I think that's true.
bangers.
Bangers and mash.
Yep.
That is peas and mashed potatoes in this country. So
Really.
Again, we live in Scotland. We
Yeah,
are
that's great.
so cultured.
You guys are so hipster,
We know
staying at
everything
B&Bs.
now. Yeah, very hipster.
Oh
It's
my gosh, I'm so hipster.
Hardly
My
anyone
B&B
knows
had
about
a
it.
hole in the wall. I was saying I went to this hole in the wall place for dinner. It was this B&B.
We stayed in this totally hole in the wall. Oh, you would have loved it.
You're gonna take it. It was so great.
Oh man.
I love
Okay,
you
so-
inside at the same time. So
Ah,
cute.
I know.
You guys are adorable.
I know.
I told Sam, try not to leave me for Calvin, and he said, no thanks. So
Well, I told her when we started dating that
She knows the deal.
that Calvin has a lot of my heart, and you just gotta be okay with that.
gotcha. Yeah, I should have known.
Should have. Do you have any other funny stories
From the trip?
from any time that
How-
you've been alive?
I was recently reminded of possibly a funny story here about someone out of this trio making fun of someone else in this trio
Ah,
for their feelings for someone else in the trio.
I genuinely do not.
You're
I did
talking
not
about
remember
when
the
I
story in
made
any
fun
way.
of you for liking Calvin.
I
Oh, no,
think
wait,
so.
the other way around. Calvin made fun of me for liking Sam so much that I cried in a parking lot. Shout out to Bella,
I feel
CM,
terrible.
for hearing me out and for
How did
listening to me
how
cry.
did that happen? That
I
was
have no
before we
idea
were
this
dating?
even happened.
So that's in the long saga that is the Sam and Lauren story that we had to explain to our friend Johnny, basically about how I pursued Sam every step of the way.
Shout out to Johnny, by the way. Such a great dad. Such a great dad.
Shout out to Johnny, the realest dad,
Yeah.
other than Ronnie. That works out really well. I shouldn't call Ron Draper Ronnie.
I was
No.
gonna say you call his dad Ronnie.
I do sometimes, but not actually to his face. I'll say it as a joke,
telling
like,
him to
how's
listen to
Ronnie
this
boy?
episode.
But that's
That
he's not gonna
is
listen.
Oh man.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's gonna feel very violated.
Anyway, what we're talking about the
Okay, yes. So, basically, I liked Sam for a little while, long time before we were dating. Intermittently. Like I wasn't just like infatuated with him forever, but I just was like, that's a nice Southern gent. And my junior year, I kind of got over him my sophomore year, and then I saw him a lot my junior year. And at the beginning, I was into him, for sure. And I would just do little things to like be able to hang out with him a little bit. And one of the things I did was I would kind of wait by my locker until this really cool group of guys would walk to soccer together, and then I would walk to my car. It was very chill, you know. But in this group of guys was this guy Sam and his friend Calvin.
Nice.
And
He sounds great. I don't know him,
really
but he
know
sounds
how. But fairly quickly, Calvin and this other guy Caleb, who I'm sure will get a shout out or a time in the sun in the podcast soon.
What's good, Caleb? Hope you're listening.
It's probably not.
Love you, baby.
Even for an
that made me want to gag.
Term is weird, but to use it there was I didn't.
I'm doing that dry heaving thing that you said I was doing.
The what?
The dry heaving thing.
Oh, are you? Show us.
No thanks. That was in one of the versions of this episode that already got deleted.
Yeah, the 3 or 4 takes before this.
Okay, so Calvin and Caleb, one day I'm trying to get out of the parking lot. I don't know if you remember this, but you stood in front of my car. Caleb stood behind my car, and you stood in front of my car, and you said you would not move until I admitted that I liked Sam Draper. Yeah, and I ran over Caleb. I kept driving. Do you not remember that? I ran over his foot.
I remember this vaguely. I don't remember why we were doing that, but I remember you running over Caleb. I remember the memory I had was I was like following, wasn't as much the ringleader, but I'm guaranteeing that I did something very stupid.
No, I think the problem was something like, yeah, I don't totally know.
I remember you running over Caleb's foot, like all of that. I remember that, but
Dude,
I don't remember.
All of it.
I don't remember saying like don't leave until you admit that.
Yeah, like you have to admit your love for him. Anyway, so then somehow Hillard and Ben caught wind of this rumor, and I was at one of the soccer games. Because I was kind of a soccer mom the last 2 years of high school. And it was like in the middle of a Saturday. So Hillard and Ben are standing right in front of me, and they are screaming like sexual comments about Samuel and about how good he is at playing soccer. It's like, oh man, look at him run. Oh, Ben, don't you like the way Sam looks in his soccer shorts? Oh my gosh, he looks so good. Like, and he was screaming. They were like, Lauren, don't you think Sam is so good at soccer? And I remember just being so horrified.
Guys being dudes, being bros.
Dudes,
guys, that's just boys being boys, harassing people, classic boys.
Girls being girls, running over boys, just do what we can.
I really miss school.
You feel like what?
I really miss high school, man. It's a great time.
So anyway, then I got made fun of so much that I cried about it because I really did like him and I thought he was going to figure it out, and I was so embarrassed. Yeah. And then I stopped liking him as a solution, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We talked about that before, of repressing feelings whenever we feel uncomfortable.
It's a key theme of our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, I just want to formally say I am sorry that I forgot your birthday. Like, again, that's probably the thing I feel bad about most. But the other thing, like the car thing, that was probably not cool. So I'm going to go ahead and say my bad. just kidding. I'm sorry. Actually, it's a very embarrassing story of myself.
We talk a lot about how, we wouldn't be together if Calvin hadn't made fun of me for a couple months about how I liked Sam. You're the reason we're together.
I don't want to say that I am a miracle worker, but
I'll say it, man. You're a miracle worker.
Although that is one of my favorite things to do is claim I set couples up, and then when I've had no interference, I did that a lot. That was fun.
Oh man, Calvin, do you have any funny stories about us that come to your brain?
Not any that I'm sure you guys would like to share.
All right, then we'll leave that.
But I have some. I know that for sure.
God. That's daunting.
They're not even that bad. It's just but anyway, yeah. Classic.
Should we ask Laura some questions about herself?
Yeah, let's do that. So
Good.
Lauren.
I love talking about me.
Okay. We know. Lauren, What's your favorite quality about yourself? Try not to sound arrogant here.
Oh my gosh, you got a nose laugh. That's rare.
Titanic 2, setting sail.
I miss you.
Well, thank you guys for that.
So your
Lauren,
favorite quality?
yeah, what's your favorite quality?
I should have some funny thing to say to this, but I have nothing. It just makes me really uncomfortable.
Maybe.
I'd say I'm just like an all around, just really, really good person. Just, I'm humble as I'll get out.
Mm-hmm. Number
And,
one, really at the top of the humble list.
Top thing is humble. Second thing, totally selfless. Third thing, just humble again.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You guys are doing that weird thing where you spend long enough together that like you guys become. You start saying the same thing because Sam says like the most humble, like a lot for his best quality, and you just said that, and I was just thinking.
There's no
So
other
cute.
best quality you can say.
Oh.
It's true.
That has to be your best quality. Because
Wow.
if you say anything else, it sounds like you're being serious.
Well, my best quality is the ability to quote every line from Air Buddies.
Okay, so Air Buddies Space Adventures. What happened at minute 45?
I don't really like the Space Adventures one. It kind of removes a lot of the canonical lore, and so I don't know. It's not my favorite film, but
That is a pretty famous critique of that movie. How about Air Buddies Santa?
I wasn't sold on the Santa aspect.
Friends.
I
You guys know these movies well.
Well, I wanted to see if
That's
someone
my
would correct
favorite
me
one,
and say Friends.
Santa Friends.
Yeah, because if he was a true fan, he would have been like, "Oh, Friends." He would have finished the sentence for me, but he's not. So obviously,
I don't know. Ever since I've seen Fred Claus starring Vince Vaughn, I haven't been able to see another Christmas movie and think this is good. So Christmas time, I pretty much watched that on repeat all throughout the month of December.
Screw
Oh my
Elf,
gosh.
man. Fred Claus.
Elf is so self-indulgent. Take a look at the classic work of Fred Claus.
So I got a question for all y'all fans out in the comment section. Is it too early in the year, the date being October 28th,
Yes, it is.
to be listening to Christmas music?
Yes,
100%. There's no question.
I stand alone on this. I think no. I think Christmas is beautiful. It's the best time of year, and
Sam
it's my favorite
listens
time
to
of year.
Christmas music in the summer.
I have done that before.
So
I will do it
disgusting.
again.
Here's what I don't understand. This is something that is a real hard point in Sam and I's relationship. First of all, I don't believe that Christmas music should ever be played before the holiday of Thanksgiving is over.
I probably agree.
And second of all, I don't like Christmas music that much. It doesn't make sense to me that there's
Not that good.
there's like 30 songs that 100 people do renditions of, and then they're played over and over and over for 30 days. That's so much. And it's not like new music is coming out about Christmas because no one wants new music. Everyone just wants to hear Jingle Bells and freaking Mariah Carey. That's all people want to hear.
Mariah Carey, yeah, that stuff's killer.
Like it's good. It's great. I want to listen to
a
it
Post
once.
Malone Christmas album. Posty, if you're listening, you're sitting on a cash cow right now.
What could he call
That's
it?
actually a really fun idea. I love that.
You could call it it needs to be something like beer bongs and Bentleys.
Gift wraps, and elves. No. Gift wraps and tinsel.
Sweeter than Santa's cookies.
No.
Yep, that's it.
She told me that I was a bad boy. I'm getting cold. Boom. I fell apart. Nailed it. So
drop the red nose and nose candy. Done. Dropped. Album
That's
dropped.
good.
Thank you.
That was good.
That was good.
Let's go back to Lauren though, and let me think of a question off the top of my head. Lauren, what's your favorite part What do you want to do with the rest of your life? Knew it.
Nailed it.
I want to study other people's brains and just like get inside of them. It's because I have a lot of insecurities in my childhood. But yeah, I want to understand how other people's brains work so I can try to vaguely start to maybe understand mine just a little, but I don't think it'll ever happen because I'm just really sad all the time.
I think a really cool like PhD thesis you could do would be like how comedy is a defense mechanism for people.
Yes. That actually was going to be my study. And I was going to be the case study as well. I was just going to study how I interact with the world.
It's kind of fair.
This is great. I've had a great time on this podcast.
That's me. What about you, Calvin? What do you want to do with your life?
I want to. Should I say this? It's pretty mean. I'll do it anyway. I just want to follow my boyfriend to Scotland and just kind of see what happens. Thanks again, guys. Another episode.
It's funny because I did that. So relatable. Oh my gosh.
I know that's not why. I'm just kidding.
It definitely was a following
it totally
thing.
is why.
Yeah.
And I would totally recommend it to like any girl ever. Like if all you want to do is just like get wifed up, definitely just like follow the guy you're dating to whatever location he's in. It doesn't even matter if you really like him that much. Just follow him there. Because if he can't avoid you, he can't say no.
What are you saying?
Just that. Yeah, that's me. That's us. We're really happy.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So let me ask you another question.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Check next week.
This is good. I thought when I came on, I would
How
redeem that one time that you guys only talked about like another human, but I'm just making it sound like you really don't like me that much, and that I'm just here to follow you.
We're making it seem like that, yeah.
Yeah. You're a
I'm
friend.
kidding. Kidding. It's a defense mechanism, clearly. So.
Welcome to the roast hour. Get your flame on.
That's gonna be really loud and really aggressive in people's ears.
I hope so.
That's the point of roast. Loud, aggressive.
Earphone warning for what I've already said.
Yeah, if you're gonna be, make sure you turn the volume down for that last clip. So we got him.
Gotta help the fans out. Should we give a brief explanation of how that happened, or
what happened?
Or just move past it? Us in this school together.
I will talk about whatever. Sure.
That was a passive aggressive answer.
This is I don't know. I don't know if you guys don't talk about like really deep stuff very often, and that feels like a really deep thing. And so I don't know if like you actually want to get into it because I'm not that like witty and short and like bantery.
I think that's pretty like honestly a pretty cool thing. I would be fine to talk about it. Calvin, thoughts?
I wasn't listening. I was thinking of another joke to try to say. So go ahead and do whatever you guys are gonna do, and I'll just be thinking of jokes. I'm kidding. Dude. Please. I would love to hear your story.
Well, have I talked about coming to Scotland for college on the podcast?
No. You guys have talked about how your worst fears are falling out of trains or planes or whatever, and about a lot of things that aren't actually true that you go on about for a long time. I feel like I know I listen to your show and I know both of you intimately, and yet I feel like I don't know you at all. So if that helps.
That's kind of my goal for relationships is
good.
They have like an outer vision of what I am, and then like the inner vision is completely different. So
it's healthy.
Just so everyone listening to the show knows, both of these guys are really smart and introspective dudes who come across not that way on this show. So
Lauren, you're ruining my image. Please stop.
Lauren, you're making people think I'm actually smart and kind. I need to be emotionless.
Lauren, I've made you stop your car until you admitted that you had feelings for one of my best friends. I'm clearly not a kind person, so.
Calvin, I ran over one of your best friends with my car, so I'm clearly not a very nice person either.
It's pretty funny.
It was funny. That was honestly really funny.
Are we competing to not be good people now?
Yeah,
Is that
that's what we're doing. Remember, we had to put back on the charade that we're all mean and thoughtless. Yeah. So,
Should say charade.
Your turn.
Okay, yeah. So I ended up in Scotland because I did young life work here. Just kind of fell in love with the college, and I don't know, really, that could be a really long story, but that's not the object of the story. So, yeah, I got in and was really excited to come. And we were dating. We'd been dating for how long?
Not long. When you came to Scotland, we had only been dating for a month. Mm-hmm. And yeah, then he came home and was pretty convinced he wanted to come. Meanwhile, I had a crazy high school of not knowing what I wanted to do for college. My freshman year, or for those of our Scotland fans, S2.
Yes.
My freshman year was spent at a school that was really, really, really focused on college. And it had been ever since I was in 7th grade. People were talking about what college they wanted to go to. And so it felt like there was so much weight on that. So when I came to my new school, my sophomore year, all of a sudden people just weren't all that concerned. People just didn't seem like that was their number one priority. They seemed like they actually wanted to enjoy life a little bit. And so I kind of put that out of my mind. And when I went to work in Jamaica for a little while, in February, I came back and decided that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And my mom said I could do it for a year if I promised to go to uni after that. So I was determined that's what I was going to do after I left school. And then my junior year, I was like, okay, I probably need to get real. What am I going to do? Started looking into schools in Jamaica so I could still work with these kids. And that's just not a good education system at all, unless you're in Kingston, which is really far away from Mobay, which is where I wanted to work. And so because I wanted to work at Sandals, Jamaica.
Yeah, I mean, vacation. So.
Yeah. And shout out to Delcy, in Jamaica, who's listening to this podcast. Sorry I didn't come live with you. That would have been sick, though. Anyway, my junior year, I started looking into schools overseas. I looked in the UK, but I really didn't want to be in England. And because I don't know, I just had a mentality that it was really posh, and it kind of is. But I was looking at Dublin and that sort of thing. And then I decided, okay, get real, and was going to go to Colorado State. Until this guy I knew, who was also one of my best friends, and we had started dating, came back from Scotland and was like, this school is unreal. It's so beautiful. And talked about it a lot, but never talked about it yeah, would you think about going there? It was always just talking about it from his own excitement. Spoiler alert, it was Sam.
Oh, I thought that was me. Because it was best friend, hanging all the time, and I was like, yeah, but I don't remember going to Scotland. But
that's so weird.
Anyway, you can continue.
So so I was pretty set on Colorado State, and then I started just kind of randomly looking back into schools overseas, because when he decided he was going to do it, I was like, I forgot that I had thought about doing that. That is such a fun thought. But yeah, none of the schools were international enough or had the programs I was looking for or anything like that, were flexible, because the UK school system's really different. So I thought about it, and then I went back on that thought. And then in about December, I looked back at St. Andrews and was like, this school is unreal. This school is really, really, really perfect. And so I actually talked to him and was like, I know this is totally stepping on your toes, but would you mind if I also applied for St. Andrews? And you can absolutely say no. You can talk to Jesus about it and decide if that's something you want to do. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. I think you should at least look into applying. And so I talked to all of the people that I trusted in life about it. And they all said yeah, I definitely think you should apply. There's something very cool happening here. And so I applied, and I just I spent a lot of time in prayer about it. I just had no idea. I could not even imagine the concept of going to a school that my boyfriend was going to. I had always totally laughed at girls who did that. Thought it was so dumb. And then all of a sudden I'm faced with this thing of like, that's exactly what it looks like I'm doing. And there's a little bit of me that was like, I get to be with one of my best friends at my college, and that wasn't what was going to happen at Colorado. But a lot of me just wanted to come here for the school and the international aspect. And then I got in, which was totally crazy because I didn't think I was smart enough to get in. And yeah, I decided to come. And then I was really unsure about that decision. And then a lot of crazy God things happened where like I would run into people who had gone to the University of Edinburgh, but that person was in Nicaragua. And I was like, why are you here?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, was in Jamaica out of all things and met a guy who was right outside of St. Andrews. So just like some really cool, weird signs that made it very clear to me that this was the right decision. And it totally has been. That was long-winded. That's the story of how I'm here.
And it was tough, as a couple dating in high school to deal with telling people that, to deal with reacting to people reacting to that.
Oh yeah, and it definitely
she took the brunt of it.
It was definitely like a death of my pride because I was always like the independent girl who didn't need anyone and didn't ever want to look like I needed anyone. And then all of a sudden it totally looked like I was just following this guy to college. And I had a lot of people like, should I go to St. Andrews or Colorado State? And they were like, I definitely think Colorado State's a good option. Like, I would not do anything that would require you like following this guy. So it was hard to communicate that that's not what I was doing. But in the end, like life lesson from that was like the people who love you and know you know that that's not what you're doing. And yeah, like that, the people who genuinely knew me were just really excited for all of that. So it ended up being really good and a big growing thing, but a very painful growing experience.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was that. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Must be nice. I had the same story, but different ending. Very different ending.
Mose was the same situation.
Very different. That's cool, though. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. We try to be cool. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Keep working and you can succeed. So anyway, who was it harder to tell? Each of you answer this. Your friends or your family?
His family. That's weird to say. I was really afraid specifically of Ronnie.
It's not intimidating if you say Ronnie. It just takes all the fear out of it.
Yeah,
so
it does.
Go ahead,
It
do
does.
I just thought he was going to think I was a total fool because I felt like his mom knew me pretty well, but I feared that his dad would think that I was just like very, I don't know. So that was definitely scary. Other than that, yeah, definitely like my parents, just because both of my sisters had gone close to home and had missed home a fair amount. And so already they were like, you're going to miss home and not be able to come home. And then on top of that, Jade just didn't totally understand like why I would choose Scotland. And a lot of my reasoning was very personal to me, but couldn't be super easily explained.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely something. But by the time I got over here, like they were so excited about it. So what about you?
For me, I think probably my dad as well.
Way to go, Ronnie. Scaring off the kids.
Yeah, I think that was tough, but it wasn't easy telling my friends either. In hindsight,
brutally probably made fun of you. I hope so. Probably stopped you from driving and said, admit it. Admit that you like Lauren. Even though you're already dating.
Yeah, and in order to avoid that, I would have run over one of your feet. No.
Call back. Sorry, go on.
No, yeah, in hindsight, like, it always, the people who love you, the people who know you, will support a decision when they know it's right, so.
It's true.
Yeah, I'd say, like, genuinely, I think harder than any of those people was just like the world. Like, I know that's a weird thing to say, but your friends and your family, after a little bit of time, understand it. But there was always this, like, there still is, the fact that so many people from my high school probably left high school still thinking like, man, that's a bummer. I thought she was really independent, and then she followed him. Which is just a weird feeling. Like, I'll just never be totally able to clear that air, I don't think. Which is fine. Like, I don't need that validation, but that's just a weird thing to live with of like, they'll probably never know. You know?
Yeah.
That's weird.
And it's just something you gotta accept, like, it doesn't matter if they don't know.
Yeah.
Which is not easy to do.
So no, that's why I'm here on this podcast, to just clear that up. I did not follow Sam. Thank you.
Ladies
goodbye.
and gentlemen, that's a wrap.
And where's the clicky clacker?
It's like a 60 Minutes interview. Like, that finally got to the meat of the interview.
Oh man.
Did it.
All right.
Okay,
so,
actually, I kind of have an actual question for you both.
Go
It
for
might
it.
be separate. You might not want to answer for each other, but what is like? Do you see yourself staying in Scotland post college, or are you like gonna come back to the good old United States post college? Do you have any idea?
Why don't you go first?
I could see it.
Yeah. Okay.
I could see myself here. I could see myself a lot of different places around the world. I think there's a lot of things that I miss about the U.S. It's weird little things that you find yourself missing. Like, just I kind of miss like being at home and like, oh, I'm hungry, and like knowing where to go for different places to get certain foods that I love.
Yeah.
Like, I have a weird love for food.
And to drive your car there.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss
driving.
driving a car.
I miss driving. It's just weird little amenities, like how houses work, light switches and like sinks and like
Yeah,
I don't
right?
know. It's like
There's 2 taps here for like a lot of sinks.
everywhere is 2 taps.
Like a cold tap and a warm tap, so you can never get the 2 water at one same.
Right, and it's not like nothing is inconvenient. It's just different.
It's just
than
different. Yeah.
home. And I think that's starting to set in a little bit for me now.
Yeah.
Plus, just missing seeing the people that I love. Especially when somebody like is going through something tough. Like, that's not easy not to be there in person.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So that was the question you asked. What I missed.
Yeah. 100%.
No, I think I said that because I would want to live back home at least for a little while, sometime in the future. I don't know. Your turn.
Yeah. I think. I don't know. I guess at the moment I don't see myself like living in the U.S. like long term. After I get home from Scotland. Again, like the U.S. will always be home. Like Kansas will always be home for me. But I don't know if that means like a home that I want to return and live in, or just a home that I want to love, like during Christmas and summer and, that sort of thing. But I think like the line of work I want to go in would require me to not live in the U.S. And so that's definitely hard. But yeah, I definitely think like after Scotland, it might be good just to go back to the States for a little while and get my kind of like dip my toes in the water of like the working world and what that looks like. And maybe just get a little bit of money after college in like a safe environment before I head out. But yeah, it's a weird thought because I strangely, I don't understand how living outside of the States will ever feel like home. Like, I kind of feel like it'll always feel a little bit like a trip, like a vacation.
Yeah.
Like this definitely does not feel like home. This feels like a weird study abroad thing, like, oh, okay, you're there for 4 years and then you'll come back.
Yeah.
It's really hard to explain. Like, I think you can move somewhere else in the U.S. and be like, this is home. Like, okay, I'm living in California, whatever. Ugh, hope not. But like, I'm living in.
Yeah, I hate California.
Grace Kastner.
California can go lose.
Oh, Grace Kastner does listen. Okay.
Grace is awesome.
No.
Shout out Grace Kastner.
Oh, we should not say her last name.
No, she would love it.
No.
Shout out her Instagram.
I need Grace
Shout her out
Kastner
on
to
Instagram. Grace Kastner. You're so nice. We literally were talking about how nice you were the other day.
Yeah,
all the way
true.
here in Scotland.
It's fun that you guys have your own conversations without me. I'm not jealous.
We need to get the little micro Bluetooth thing for Pam get. We'll have
That's
two
all
both
I
of us and the Calvin.
Yes.
And
Perfect.
Sam will do like the sprinkle of cinnamon, and Calvin will be like, I don't know what she orders. I'm involved.
Just like
Let me in.
caramel.
Probably coffee.
I hope
Calvin?
no one gets the joke, but anyway,
What
go
about
on.
you? Do you think you'll live in the U.S. forever? Do you think you'll live? Yeah.
Oh man, I've thought about it. There's a program that someone I know talked about with Young Life where you can do your 4 years of college doing stuff, and then you can do 2 years like anywhere in the world and do like and get your master, or like do the seminary and get like your master's in something.
Mm.
I'm like, that'd be cool to go somewhere,
Mm.
but part of me knows that I'm someone who sucks at going places new places, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. And then like there's just a lot, like that's the reason in Wichita right now. There's just a lot that I like want to do here, and like feel like I'm a part of here. That's pretty cool, and so a little flex there, but I just like, I don't know if I could ever leave, which
Yeah.
is lame because I kind of want to. Well, I shouldn't say kind of. I high key want to, but sometimes I'm like, most times I'm like, I'm so glad I'm here. There's some times where I'm like, I just want to go to.
I think it's hard
one of-
because. Sorry.
No, I just was making something up. Go on, what were you gonna say?
I think that there's this really cool like adventure element to leaving. But now that we've taken the adventure of leaving, there's so much that's so romanticized about this. About like getting out of the US, and whether it's like in the Christian community, there's so much romanticism around the idea of like mission work, or like I don't like that phrasing, but like being able to leave and go, I don't know, helping humanitarian stuff. There's so much glory to that, but people just genuinely like do not talk about just the little stupid things that are part of human nature to miss, that get hard to miss. I mean, it's just hard. And people talk about, like I missed my best friend's wedding. Like I can't even imagine that. That would be such a bummer. Or like I had a friend here who had a really good friend from home die last year, and like couldn't go home. Like there's just hard crap that happens that you have to miss out on.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of why I feel like I would just be like, I would miss like that home aspect too much.
Oh, totally.
But
well, to be fair, like being gone will make you appreciate it a lot more, even for a little bit of time. Like
Sam said today that he really, really, really missed making hot dogs on a skillet at 2 a.m. That exact phrase came out of his mouth, and I've never. And then he was like, "Oh," and then he put cheese on the hot dog. I was like, "That is gross and not relatable," but okay.
I'll make you a mean.
You are
2 a.m.
American, my friend.
That's...
You passed the test.
You did it. You're American.
Dude,
I have
through
never
and through.
once done that in my entire life.
Right?
So
That's
American.
so gross.
Dude, when I come home
I
for
had that
Christmas,
desire.
that's what we're gonna. I'll make a hot dog for you.
Well, that's
2 in
what
the
I'm
morning
saying.
with
It's like
cheese.
not relatable. Like people don't just do that. People aren't like, "Oh, you know what I miss about America? Hot dogs on a skillet." Oh, I miss that too, man. Like that does not happen.
If I ever say that in conversation and someone else agrees with me, then I have made a friend for life.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
Good fun.
jolly good
It's
fun.
just fun.
This was fun.
That's fun.
This
It
is great.
was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Lauren, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot happened, so you're welcome. Lauren, thanks for being on.
Anytime.
Mm.
And if you ever want to talk about me again, don't, because it's never fun.
I'm gonna go out of my way just to be like the nicest person, do you know? Because I feel terrible. So.
I hope so.
Oh man, I think we all know how long that's gonna last too. Not long.
Not long at all.
Not long at all.
Oh man.
Well, for our fans, thanks for listening. It's been a good episode. We appreciate your support. Appreciate it. Merch is still available. So
Buy it.
Yeah.
Lauren, you made it. What do you think of it?
I made it, and then I was like, "This is absolute crap." And then Sam was like, "Oh, we already put it on the shirt." So no, I'm kidding. No, I made it because I thought I would actually wear it, and I don't often think that about shirts. I own literally like 5 shirts, so I tried to make one that someone who's as minimalistic as myself would actually enjoy wearing and wear frequently. And I think it's that. So. How is that a flex? You literally asked me what I think of the shirt. I made you the shirt. I'm helping you advertise for the shirt, and you're making fun of me. You're being mean already. It didn't even
I'm
last
such a minimalist. I just don't need anything. I don't need food. I don't need water. I don't need friends. Did you just punch Lauren?
No, I just pulled her headphones out of her head on accident.
So
I'm so
bad.
sorry.
The screen recording is so bad that I kind of thought that you punched her. I was like, well, that's one way.
For the record, I did not.
Okay,
do
anyway,
that.
don't buy the merch. It's absolutely not worth it. If you're a minimalist at all, it's not even close to worth it. Even if you're not a minimalist, screw them. Screw the shirt. It's trash.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.
That made me so sad.
Oh, sorry.
First fight?
No, in all sincerity, I think it's really good. I really like it, and I made it, so I definitely am flexing. It took us so much work on Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yes, another flex. Yeah, I know how to
Anyway.
work Photoshop. Anyway,
don't.
thanks, guys.
Yeah. This has been fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. Anytime.
Well, not anytime, but anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
Next time.
Solid ending.
Maybe turn this thing off.